Blood sugar control does not stop when the lights go out. In fact, some of the most powerful changes inside the body happen while you sleep. Many people with diabetes focus on food, medication, and exercise during the day, yet overlook the quiet hours before bedtime. Those hours can push blood sugar higher or help bring it down by morning. Tonight's routine can shape tomorrow's fasting glucose and even long-term A1c levels. That is a detail rarely discussed, yet strongly supported by science. During sleep, the body releases hormones that repair cells, balance insulin response, and manage glucose storage. When bedtime habits disrupt this process, blood sugar often rises without warning. This explains why so many people wake up with elevated readings despite doing everything right during the day. The cause often hides in simple nighttime behaviors that feel harmless but quietly work against glucose control. In this video, you will learn 4 powerful bedtime habits that support lower blood sugar and healthier A1c levels. These habits are practical, safe, and backed by medical research. They focus on how the body processes glucose overnight, how stress hormones behave after dark, and how sleep quality influences insulin sensitivity. Each habit builds on the next, creating a routine that works with your biology instead of against it. You will also discover lesser-known facts that most people never hear during doctor visits. One habit affects the way muscles absorb sugar while resting. Another influences how the liver releases stored glucose before sunrise. One habit can change insulin resistance within days when done consistently. These details matter because small nightly actions repeated over time create measurable results on lab reports. Watching until the end is important because the final habit ties everything together. Many people apply 1 or 2 tips and stop there. That approach limits progress. The full routine creates a stronger effect when used together. By the end of this video, you will understand how bedtime decisions connect directly to morning readings and long-term diabetes management. This video is designed to help you take control in a realistic way. No extreme rules, no complicated plans, just smart habits that fit into everyday life and support the body while it rests. These strategies can be used alongside medical treatment and healthy eating, creating a stronger foundation for blood sugar stability. Welcome to our channel, where complex health topics are explained in a clear and practical way. If you want science-backed guidance to manage diabetes more confidently, subscribe now and stay connected. Your nights matter more than you think, and the right habits can turn sleep into a powerful tool for better blood sugar control. Blood sugar behavior during the night is one of the most confusing and frustrating issues for people living with diabetes. Many go to bed with readings that seem under control, only to wake up with numbers that are unexpectedly high. This pattern creates doubt, stress, and a sense that something is being done wrong, even when meals, medication, and daytime routines are carefully followed. The truth is that glucose levels do not remain stable while the body rests. The liver continues to release sugar, hormones shift, and insulin response changes during sleep. Relying only on medication often leaves this problem unresolved. Medicines are designed to help, but they do not manage every process that takes place after dark. Hormones related to stress and alertness can quietly push blood sugar higher, especially when sleep is disrupted or bedtime routines are inconsistent. Over time, these repeated nighttime spikes influence overall glucose control and contribute to higher A1c levels without obvious warning signs. What makes this issue more serious is how easily it goes unnoticed. Nighttime habits feel small and harmless, yet they affect insulin sensitivity hour after hour. Late evenings, mental tension, poor sleep quality, and inactivity before bed all send signals to the body that interfere with glucose balance. When these patterns repeat night after night, they slowly shape long-term results, even when daytime efforts appear disciplined and correct. Sleep is not a passive state where the body simply shuts down. It is an active period when repair, regulation, and balance take place. While the mind rests, cells respond to signals that influence how sugar is stored, released, and used. Insulin sensitivity shifts during these hours, and the body decides how much glucose remains in the bloodstream by morning. This makes the time before sleep far more important than most people realize. Several key hormones that affect blood sugar are released at night. Cortisol, growth hormone, and insulin all follow nighttime rhythms. When these rhythms are supported, glucose control becomes more stable. When they are disrupted, fasting blood sugar often rises without an obvious cause. Even small behaviors before bed can influence these hormonal patterns. Eating too late, staying mentally alert, or sleeping at irregular hours sends mixed signals that affect how the body manages sugar overnight. The powerful part of bedtime habits is that they do not need to be extreme. Small adjustments made consistently can lead to noticeable changes in morning readings. The body responds better to routines that are repeated daily rather than intense efforts done occasionally. A calm, steady approach before sleep allows internal systems to work more efficiently. When these habits become part of a nightly routine, they quietly prepare the body to handle glucose in a healthier way by the time the day begins. What happens in the hours before sleep plays a direct role in how blood sugar behaves through the night. Late evening eating forces the body to manage incoming glucose at a time when insulin sensitivity is already slowing down. Instead of being used efficiently, sugar is more likely to remain in the bloodstream for longer periods. This often leads to higher readings by morning, even when dinner earlier in the evening felt reasonable and controlled. Meals that are heavy in refined carbohydrates create a stronger effect. During the night, the body is less active and muscle uptake of glucose is reduced. When large amounts of carbohydrates are consumed close to bedtime, glucose clearance slows and the liver adds more sugar into circulation. This combination can quietly raise fasting blood sugar without causing any immediate symptoms. Many people assume the total amount eaten matters most, but timing often plays a larger role during nighttime hours. A lighter and more balanced approach before bed allows the body to shift into repair mode instead of digestion mode. When the digestive system is not overworked, hormones that regulate glucose function more smoothly. This creates a steadier overnight pattern and reduces unexpected spikes. The goal is not restriction, but alignment with how the body naturally processes sugar after dark, allowing blood glucose to remain more stable until morning. The state of the mind before sleep has a powerful effect on blood sugar during the night. Stress does not fade, sigh because the day ends. When mental tension remains high, the body releases stress hormones that signal the liver to release more glucose into the bloodstream. This response was designed for survival, but in modern life, it often stays active long after it is needed. As a result, blood sugar can remain elevated for hours while the body should be resting. Even quiet forms of stress matter. Worrying thoughts, unresolved concerns, and constant mental stimulation keep the nervous system alert. This alert state interferes with insulin sensitivity and prevents glucose from being used efficiently. The body stays in a mode that favors higher blood sugar, making overnight control more difficult. Many people focus only on food and medication, while the emotional environment before bed continues to influence glucose levels without being addressed. Creating a calm transition into sleep allows the body to shift out of stress response and into recovery mode. Simple relaxation routines help signal safety and balance to the nervous system. When stress hormones decrease, insulin works more effectively and glucose levels become easier to manage through the night. These mental shifts may seem subtle, but their impact on nighttime blood sugar can be significant when practiced consistently. Sleep quality plays a central role in how the body manages blood sugar. When sleep is shallow or frequently interrupted, insulin becomes less effective at moving glucose out of the bloodstream. This creates a state where the same amount of insulin produces a weaker response, leading to higher blood sugar levels by morning. Many people focus on how long they sleep, but the depth and consistency of that sleep matter just as much.
Irregular sleep patterns confuse the body's internal clock. Going to bed and waking up at different times disrupts hormonal signals that regulate glucose release and insulin action. The liver may release sugar at the wrong time, and insulin sensitivity can drop without any clear reason. Over time, this pattern makes blood sugar harder to predict and control. even when meals and medication remain unchanged.
Deep sleep is especially important for metabolic balance. During this phase, the body restores insulin sensitivity and improves the way muscles and tissues respond to glucose. Even a single hour of lost sleep can interfere with this process and lead to noticeable changes in sugar readings the next day. These effects often go unnoticed, yet they quietly shape overnight glucose behavior and influence long-term blood sugar trends. Evening hours are often spent sitting or lying down, and this long period of inactivity affects how the body handles glucose. When muscles remain still for extended periods, their ability to absorb sugar from the bloodstream slows down. This allows blood sugar to remain elevated after dinner and continue rising during the early part of the night. The body becomes less efficient at clearing glucose when movement is completely absent. Gentle movement in the evening activates large muscle groups without placing stress on the body. When muscles are lightly engaged, they begin to take in glucose for energy, reducing the amount that stays in the blood. This process does not require intensity or strain to be effective. Even mild activity encourages better glucose uptake and supports more stable levels as the body transitions into rest. This approach works naturally with the body's rhythms and is easier to maintain over time. It does not overstimulate the nervous system or interfere with sleep when done at the right time. Instead, it supports circulation, improves insulin response, and helps lower post-dinner blood sugar in a gradual way. Because it is gentle and adaptable, this habit fits into daily life without adding pressure or fatigue, making it a reliable part of a nighttime routine. Certain nighttime habits quietly work against blood sugar control, even when daytime efforts feel disciplined. Late-night snacking is one of the most common issues. Eating close to bedtime keeps digestion active when the body should be shifting into repair mode. This leads to prolonged glucose release and higher levels through the night, often without any immediate signs. These small snacks may feel harmless, yet their timing creates an outsized effect on morning readings. Excess screen time creates another hidden problem. Bright light and constant stimulation keep the brain alert and interfere with natural sleep signals. This disrupts hormone release and increases stress responses that raise blood sugar. Scrolling, watching, or working late into the night delays the body's ability to settle down, affecting glucose regulation long after the screens are turned off. Skipping a consistent sleep schedule adds further disruption. When sleep and wake times change from day to day, the body loses its rhythm. Hormones that manage sugar release and insulin action become less predictable, making blood sugar harder to control. Relying only on medication without addressing these habits often leads to frustration. Medication supports treatment, but it cannot correct behaviors that repeatedly push glucose levels higher during the night. A1c is not influenced by a single good day or an occasional effort. It reflects patterns that repeat over time, especially the ones that happen daily without much thought. Nighttime routines fall into this category because they occur every evening and shape how blood sugar behaves for many hours in a row. When glucose remains elevated overnight, those hours quietly add to the overall interval that A1c measures. The impact of nighttime habits becomes clearer when viewed over weeks rather than days. A small rise in blood sugar each night may seem insignificant in the moment, but repeated exposure builds momentum. The body responds to what it experiences most often, and regular overnight spikes slowly influence long-term glucose markers. On the other hand, steadier nighttime levels create a different pattern that supports healthier averages over time. Consistency plays a larger role than dramatic changes. Small adjustments made every night compound and become powerful when they're repeated. The body adapts to routines, and when those routines support stable glucose control, measurable improvements follow. These changes do not rely on intensity or perfection. They rely on repetition, allowing long-term markers like A1c to reflect a more balanced and controlled pattern of blood sugar management. Managing blood sugar does not require drastic routines or exhausting effort, especially when it comes to the hours before sleep. The body is already designed to restore balance during rest, and it responds best when it is given the right conditions. Small, thoughtful adjustments at night can support this natural process without adding pressure or complexity. These changes fit into everyday life and feel manageable, which makes them easier to maintain over time. Better nights create a foundation for better mornings. When sleep is protected, stress is reduced, and the body is allowed to settle into a steady rhythm, glucose control becomes less of a struggle. The systems that regulate blood sugar are active while the mind is quiet. Insulin sensitivity, hormone balance, and cellular repair all continue as the body rests, working quietly in the background. This approach shifts the focus away from constant effort and toward support. Instead of forcing the body to respond, it allows natural processes to do their job more effectively. Nighttime becomes an opportunity rather than a challenge. When the body is supported during rest, it carries that balance forward into the next day, creating a sense of progress that feels calm, steady, and sustainable. Better blood sugar control does not always come from doing more during the day. It often begins with what happens before sleep and continues while the body rests. The habits shared in this video are simple, realistic, and designed to work with your natural rhythms. When practiced together, they create a supportive nighttime routine that helps the body manage glucose more effectively night after night. Try these habits for 7 nights in a row and pay close attention to your morning sugar levels. Look for patterns, not perfection. Small changes repeated consistently can lead to meaningful progress over time. If this video helped you understand how nighttime routines affect blood sugar and A1c, take a moment to like the video. It helps the channel reach more people who need this information. For more doctor-backed diabetes tips explained in a clear and practical way, subscribe to our channel and stay connected. Your support helps us continue sharing reliable guidance that empowers you to manage diabetes with confidence and consistency.